Hello everyone. Today we are going to solve a very interesting problem using LCA. And if you don't know what is LCA, lowest common ancestor, then check out my LCA playlist link down below. So the question we are going to solve is this query from Spot, distance query. So the question will be linked down below, of course. First, I would recommend trying to solve the problem on your own before watching this video. Then, if you fail, then you can come back and watch the video. So let's begin with the question statement. It says that there are n cities and n minus 1 roads connecting the cities. Each road has unique length. So basically you have a tree of n nodes and there are n minus 1 edges, of course, because it's a tree. The edges have different lengths, as you can see here. The edges have different lengths and there are some queries. For each query there are two nodes given, or two cities, say u and v, and you have to output the shortest and longest length edge on the path between those two nodes. That means if you have a tree of n nodes, n minus 1 edges, for each query you have been given two nodes, let's say u and v. So for each query what you have to do is you have to find the edge that has the shortest length and find the edge that has the longest length in between the path between those two nodes. So let's look at some examples. So here, as you can see, this is a tree and the numbers written in red are the length of the edges. So for the first query 6 and 4, if you see node 4 and node 6, the length of the edges in between node 4 and node 6, so this is the path connecting length 4 node 4 and node 6, right? And the length of the edges that fall in the path are 4, 6, 2, 4. So among these four lengths 2 is the shortest and 6 is the highest, so output is 2 and 6. Similarly for second query 7 and 6, so the path between node 7 and node 6, this is the path between node 7 and node 6, and the edges that are in this path are of length 1, 2 and 4. So the shortest is 1 and longest is 4, so the answer is 1 and 4. Now how to solve this question? So the first thing you should notice that when you are talking about the path, that means we must know that the path always go through the LCA. So let's go to another diagram so that we can clearly visualize this. Okay, so as you can see, let's say for any node u and v, this is u and this is v. If I consider the path connecting u and v is this, right? These are the nodes that are in the path, and among these nodes this is the LCA. You can take any two node in this tree and you can see that the path connecting those two nodes will go through the LCA. Say if this is my u and this is my v, then this will be the path, right? And what is the LCA? The LCA is u itself. So no matter which two nodes you consider, the path will always go through the LCA. Now uh, let's generalize what we visualized. So now that we know that our path goes through the LCA, so look at this tree. We have a root here and we don't care about this part of the node. There can be any number of nodes, we don't care. For each query, let's say for any query, you have given a node u and a node v, right? And we know that the path that connects u and v goes through the node LCA. So now that we already know how to find LCA, what the basic thing we can do to solve this question? Think about it. So what we can do is you can take two variables called shortest length, initialize with a very big number, let's call it infinity, and take another variable longest length, initialize it with 0 because no path length can be negative. So then what we are going to do is, once we know how to find LCA in big of log n time, right? So once you find the LCA, what you can do is you can move from U to LCA one by one. Then while moving from U to LCA, what you can do is you can compare all the edges that will come in this path. You are going to keep comparing you are going to keep comparing them with these two values, shortest length and longest length, and keep updating these two values. And you are going to do the same for moving from V to LCA. You are going to move from V to LCA again, and you are going to keep comparing shortest length and longest length. At the end you would have your answer. But the problem with this approach is, for here we have queries of order 10 power 5 and number of nodes are also 10 power 5, and this approach of moving from U to LCA one by one and moving from V to LCA one by one will take big of n time. So for Q queries, the total time complexity of the solution will be big of Q1n, which will be big of 10 power 10, which is something not feasible, right? So what we are going to do now? Now if you have seen the previous video of how to find the LCA, in that video we used a sparse table, right? And if you don't know what I am talking about or what is binary lifting, then you can watch my previous video of how to find LCA using binary lifting in big of log n time. We are going to use some of the same concept that we have used in the video. So basically in that video what we did was, during pre-processing we stored something as like this. We created a 2D array that stored value like this, where parent ij stored 2 power jth parent of node I, and using this information we could find our LCA in big of log n time. Now to optimize this, one thing we know that we need to find LCA, okay, but so our next optimization should be how to reduce this big of n movement, right? These two pointers that we are going to move from U to LCA and V to LCA, how we are going to reduce those movement time. So apart from keeping track of parent, which is obviously necessary to find LCA, we are also going to keep track of two more things. One is, let's call it mean length. It's a 2D array where mean length ij will represent shortest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent. Okay, so we are going to keep track of this, and we are going to keep track of another thing, max length, which is similar, but max, that means max length ij will keep track of shortest length edge or longest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent, which means as similar to what our parent stored the 2 power jth parent of I node, the parent itself, right? The 2 power jth ancestor of node I. But here what we are going to store, we are not going to store the ancestor, we are going to store what is the shortest or longest length edge that we have encountered between this node I and the 2 power nth ancestor, the 2 power jth ancestor of I. That's what we are going to store in mean length ij, the shortest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent. Now the question is, now there are two questions. First, how to build these tables, these two tables, mean length and max length. Second, once we have the table, how we are going to use the information to reduce the time complexity. So first let's talk about how to build these two tables, mean length ij and max length ij. So from the definition, if you look at it, the shortest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent. Let's see. Let's call this is a 2 power jth parent of some random node I. Okay. I can say the shortest length that we are going to encounter in this path will be the shortest. I can say the shortest length that we are going to encounter between I and 2 power jth ancestor of I is nothing but the shortest length between I and its 2 power j minus 1th parent, because this there are 2 power j nodes in between, right? So and 2, we know that 2 power j can be divided into two ranges, that is 2 power j minus 1 and 2 power j minus 1. So I can say that the shortest node shortest path, shortest edge, that is between node I and node 2 power j parent of I is nothing but shortest length between node I and its 2 power j minus 1th parent, because if this is the 2 power jth parent, then it's, that means there are total number of 2 power j nodes in this path, right? So we are going to compare what is the shortest length in the first half, that is I and its 2 power j minus 1th parent, which is mean length ij minus 1 by definition, and then this parent which is 2 power j minus 1th parent of I, this parent's j minus 1th parent is 2 power jth parent, which means, so what I am trying to say is fourth parent of I can say fourth parent of I is nothing but second parent of I. So first thing we consider as second parent of I, that means minimum length between I and its 2 power j minus 1th parent. Okay, now we covered half of the path, and the second half of the path would be minimum length between i's 2 minus j minus 1th parent, 2 power j minus 1th parent of I, and its j minus 1th parent, 2 power j minus 1th parent. I hope this is clear, but I'll try to explain it once more. So let's say you have a node which is the 2 power jth parent of some random node I. That means in between these paths there are 2 power j number of nodes. To find what is the shortest edge in this path, what we are going to do, we are going to divide this range into two equal length, 2 power j minus 1 and 2 power j minus 1. Okay, 2 power j minus 1 and 2 power j minus 1. So first so we can say the result will be minimum of this value and minimum of this value. What is the minimum of this value? Minimum of this means mean length I j minus 1. Mean length ij represents shortest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent. So mean length ij minus 1 represent shortest length between I and i's 2 power j minus 1th parent. So in this part we cover 2 power j minus 1 number of nodes. We cover this half of nodes, right? And for the rest of we will go to this parent. What is the parent? What is its value? Its value is parent of ij minus 1 from our table. We would go to this parent and we would see to cover the next 2 power j minus 1 number of nodes, we will just simply need this value. That means this entire range we converted it into two different ranges. One is 2 power j minus 1 and another is 2 power j minus 1. The first part starts with I and goes to i's 2 power j minus 1th parent. The second part starts with that parent and covers the next 2 power j minus 1th number of nodes. So to build the mean length ij, what we are going to do is we are going to simply take minimum of these two values. Same goes for max length. For max length we are going to take maximum of max length ij minus 1 and maximum of max length of parent ij minus 1 j minus 1. So now that we have three things with us, we have parent ij that stores 2 power jth parent of node I, mean length ij that stores shortest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent, and max length means longest length edge between node I and its 2 power jth parent. Now that we have three informations, how we are going to use these informations to optimize our answer? So let's draw another tree. Let's call it root. Let's say there are some random nodes here, and then we have some LCA. Then we have a node U and some node V. So we are going to do the same thing as naive approach. We are going to take two variables. Let's call one of them as shortest length. We'll initialize shortest length with infinity and take another one longest length. We'll call it 0. Now, so this is the most trickiest part. So how we are going to use the informations that we have, that parent, mean length and max length, those three tables to find the shortest and longest path. See, in this rooted tree, for any node U, what is the maximum number of parent you can get? Obviously nth parent, right? Because my total tree has total n number of nodes, so any node can have at max n number of parents. Also, if we remember, our parent ij stored the value of 2 power jth parent of node I. Now this 2 power j can go at max n, because any node I can have at max n number of parents. That means j can go at max log n. So what I will do is I will iterate from log n to 0. Let's take a variable j. I'll iterate j from log n to 0. Now what I'm going to check is, I am going to check whether my LCA, node LCA, this node LCA is an ancestor of two power jth parent of node U. So let's start with node U, forget about node V. We are going to iterate j from log n to 0 and we are going to check if this is an ancestor or not. Okay, so why we are checking this? Let's say there are two possibilities now. If you talk about parent uj, that means 2 power jth parent of node u, there are two possibilities. So either the parent lies above the LCA somewhere here, or it lies in here, because those are the only ancestor of node u, right? The ancestors of node u are in this path only, right? So for any ancestor of node u, it can either lie inside this path or in this path. Now if my each ancestor function, I hope you guys remember each ancestor function from Euler tour from last lecture. If you tell me that, okay, if I say that my LCA is an ancestor of 2 power jth node 2 power jth parent of node u, that means this parent, this value, whatever this node is, this node lies somewhere here, right? Otherwise I can say, if this is false, if this statement is false, then I would say that this 2 power jth parent of node u lies somewhere here. And if it lies somewhere here, then we don't need that, we don't care about that node, because only thing that we need or care about is this path, is this total path. Okay, so if this is false, if this is false, if this is false 0, then we simply do j minus minus, we simply reduce the value of j so that we can come down to parent, because we only care about this path, we don't care about the path that lies above the LCA. And if this is 1, that means if my LCA is an ancestor of 2 power jth parent of node u, that means that value parent uj lies somewhere in this path. And if it lies somewhere in this path, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to update these two values, shortest length equals to minimum of previous shortest length and my mean length uj. So this is where my mean length and max length table help me in reducing the time complexity. Similarly, you can say my longest length will be maximum of previous longest length and max length uj. And once you have compared these two values, you simply move the pointer upwards, so u becomes parent uj. Eventually what is going to happen, eventually you are going to reach at LCA, that, and when you reach at LCA, that means you would have covered this part of the path and you have calculated the value of shortest length and longest length for half of the path, for half of this part of the path, and you are going to repeat the same thing for node V, and at the end, after that loop is complete, you would have calculated the shortest length and longest length for this path also, and at the end you are going to just return the pair. So the time complexity, as you can see, we are going to iterate j for log n to 0 for node u1s and node v1, so time complexity is log n for each query, and the pre-processing for LCA and other stuff is similar as before in log n. So let me show you the code. So in code I have taken infinity as 10 power 17, this is just for comparison purpose, and total number of nodes 10 power 5, log 2 10 power 5 is log 10 power 5 base 2 is somewhere close to 18, and there is vector of pairs, PIA is nothing but pair of intent. Then we need these values for maintaining LCA, and these two extra things to keep track of shortest length and longest length, right? So we are once you take the graph as input, what I am going to do is I am going to make DFS call, and notice that I am passing two additional parameter, one is infinity and one is 0. What is infinity and what is 0? Infinity is initially minimum length, because minimum length is going to be compared and it is going to come down. Similarly, max length is initially 0. This part is same as finding LCA, and here you just updated the min length and max length value. Then while updating the parent in that log and same loop, we are going to update our min length and max length value for 2 power ith node of any root. Similarly, these functions are same as LCA video. Once you find LCA, this is where you answer the query. So first you find the LCA, let's call it small LCA. I initialized two variables, shortest length and longest length. I iterated j from log minus 1 to 0. Why log minus 1? Because my dimensions are here as are log, right? So I iterate from log minus 1 to 0, and if LCA is ancestor, that means this node lies somewhere in the path. Only then we are going to compare and move our pointer upwards, otherwise our j simply keep decreasing. First time we do it for u, second time we do it for v, and at the end we return the pair of answer. So let's run this. As you can see, we got our answer. Let's submit the answer. Okay, accepted. I'll see you guys in the next one.